Was this more about Jordan Love coming of age or the Lions getting exposed?
I'm going to lean to the side of Jordan Love truly coming to age. And the reason why I'm saying this is because he finally was able to put on display what we thought that they were going to have and look like as an offense with Christian Watson as his number one receiver.
Yep.
From the outset, it was the Jordan Love, Christian Watson. So first possession, it was just those two basically providing us what we thought we would get a glimpse of all season long, and that just has not been the case. And so when I look at Jordan Love and his inconsistencies throughout the course of the season, why has that been the case? Because he's been without Aaron Jones at times over the course of the season. He's been without, obviously, Christian Watson, who's only played 8 games. Jaden Reed has been their best receiver, the rookie out of Michigan State and former Bronco from Western Michigan, as I was also a Bronco as well. So he's a player that they're going to lean on. But Jordan Love, in that game yesterday, he did a lot of things that we felt like he should be able to do throughout the course of the season, which is make those tight window throws, convert on 3rd and longs, like get the ball and make smart decisions. Now, he still made some decisions that were questionable. He still are going to make those rookie, quote-unquote, mistakes because this is year one. There's going to be that roller coaster ride where you're going to have to live with some of those valleys, those lows that he's going to provide you. But when I watched him yesterday, this is what you want and what you hope to see out of Jordan Love after sitting for a few years behind one of the best quarterbacks to do it, and doing it against a team that we all felt like was one of the best teams in the NFC, in the Detroit Lions, a team that's rolling, that can score a lot of points. So for what they were able to do and what Jordan Love was able to do offensively to kind of fend off the Detroit Lions yesterday on Thanksgiving, I thought this was about Jordan Love coming of age.
Interesting.
And I thought it was about Jordan Love also. I thought it was about Jordan Love, but I also thought it was about Detroit. And let me just talk a little bit about Detroit first, because as you climb these steps to heaven, heaven being Super Bowl and Super Bowl championships all the time, what you're going to learn and what you have to discover and discern is now you're the target. It's all fun and games when you are the hunter. It's another game when you are the hunted. And you have to understand that as being part of, I'm going to be in this top team tier every year. Detroit had a great big game. That was a huge game yesterday on Thanksgiving. Matters. They very, very rarely got to this place with these kinds of wins with an opportunity to say, this is who we are now. I told you, Skip, and Greg, I said, one thing I was looking at when I watched the Cowboys is I don't want to forget that feeling that I've had over and over and over again, like, oh, my God, we're going to lose this game. You know, here we go again, here we go again, you know. And Detroit has to rip that out of there. It's great when everybody is saying, oh, Detroit's coming, Detroit's coming. But now we're saying you're here. So now when we say you are here, that means everybody's coming after you. And Detroit has to know, stand up and shut that down. Now, let's go to Jordan Love, because I thought Jordan Love looked great yesterday. I've been a Jordan Love fan. When I see a quarterback take over for a great quarterback, you know what I look at? I start first seeing, let me see what great things you took from that great quarterback. And when I see Jordan Love, I see a lot of Aaron Rodgers. I see some of Aaron Rodgers. You see some of those throws he make that Aaron Rodgers made. You know, hands up, I'm going to get it here. I'm a different angle this. They're great throws, and he made plays. 3 straight drives, first 3 drives he went and scored. A rookie quarterback hasn't done that since 1930, whenever the game started. You know, his 3 drives right down the field to score touchdowns. So I think with that Watson combination, that thing is going off the hook now. When I see them two, I say, boy, I can't wait to see what that's going to be. Now, sometimes the bad plays, Greg, I'm just going to say that's teacher to student, student that turned to teacher, and now teacher to student again. That's Brett Favre gave a little bit of it to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers said, I'm going to get it out of my game. Aaron Rodgers was great without throwing interception. But he would try sometimes. You know, he would try sometimes. And I think Jordan Love has some of that in him. You know, he's young. He'll try sometime, but I think he'll learn through that what all he can and can't do. And I just love what they have with Christian Watson. I really do. I think that'll be a great combination we're going to be talking about for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And especially after how his career started. I'm talking about Watson, too. We were thinking maybe that was a bad pick early on, but all of it is panning out.
Okay. I second both of your emotions, but I'm going to start with the Lions. I have been impressed with their rise this year. How could you not be? But
Right.
I have not been sold on them, and I've said it again and again on this show. I'm not sure they're ready to do that, as in go contend for the NFC and the Super Bowl. Their defense came in 22nd in points allowed, and it will give up big plays such as the very first play of the game. And Jared Goff, when you least expect it, he will be in a giving mood on Thanksgiving and give it to you. And if we could quickly see those first two plays in which he coughed it up, one got scooped and scored. If we could see that's an interception there, but we got the two fumbles.
But
it came early.
But there was no time.
Yeah.
There was no time back.
Okay, that's was that a forward pass or not? No, it was a fumble and a scoop and a score, and then he gives up another one here.
Running.
And those two plays, cash, which brings me back to Jordan Love. I have said from the start, I love this young man's body language. I like his temperament. I like his poise under fire. I just like the way he handles himself. Is he going to be Aaron Rodgers, whom Greg caught football from? I doubt it. Is he going to be Brett Favre? I don't know, but I doubt it. But can you win a whole lot of football games with Jordan Love playing the way he plays? Yes, you can. And he has consistently shown me that he does get better as the game goes on, because the first time they played Detroit, remember, Michael, we were in Colorado to see Dion on Friday, and it was a Thursday night game. That night we were staying in Boulder. And again, Jordan got off to a rocky start, but in the fourth quarter, he just lit them up and almost got them back in the game. And I loved his ability to pull himself back up out of the hole. You know, he didn't just go into some shell like some young first-year starters do and couldn't get back up off the mat. He got back up and gave them all that they wanted. So I loved what he did yesterday, because when given the opportunities, cash. And remember, Coach LaFleur said that he had a play scripted. There was an opening play bomb, and then he second thought it and finally decided, no, we can't do that. And that Jordan Love came back to him as they were texting and said, no, I got to do it. I want to go deep to Christian Watson on the first play. I don't know if we've shown it, but have we been showing it? You can show it one more time. But this is the first play of the game and set the tone for the game, because they had scripted this, they had called it, and here's the deep throw to start the game. Very first play of the game, he just says, I got this. He said he'd slept on it, a little underthrown, but he was so wide open that it set the tone. So, Greg, are you seeing, put him in the pantheon? Could he live up to Aaron or Brett, or what's your gut on this?
Wait, Skip, let me say this, Greg.
Right. Those are
Skip,
questions.
That stuff is so important, what you just said, Skip.
Yeah.
So important what you just said when you talk about little things like that, because it gives you a peek inside the mentality. I always said, I don't just listen to what one says. I want to hear how they think.
You do.
And that right there, that little thing right there where he's telling Coach, no. Let's do this.
Yeah.
We've set our mind up. Let's go for it. I'm sure him and Watson has talked about this. We're going to make that play. Now, what it does is give him this is your offense. This is really your offense. I like the fact that he stepped up and said, let's stick with it. He made a call, and the coach went with it. Little things like that will come back, and it matters much.
Yeah, go, Greg.
I agree. And to answer your question, Skip, it's unfair to say whether or not he can live up to Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre. However, what I will say is Aaron Rodgers stepped into a little bit of a different situation where defensively there was a lot of questions on that team when Aaron Rodgers stepped in. There were a lot of unanswered questions defensively. Offensively, there weren't a lot of unanswered questions. There was a lot that was already established, a foundation there, and it was a matter of, can he be what Brett Favre was, not can this offense. And that's the difference. For Christian Watson and Jordan Love in particular, like, they are the question. It's can this offense and can Jordan Love live up to Aaron Rodgers? And so that's where the shoes are a little bit different. He has to not only try to live up to the expectations of a Hall of Fame quarterback that really started his career off blazing hot. We just couldn't. We just had to learn how to win. But he got off to a tremendous start in his first year as a starter, but there was pieces around him that were established, that were constants. When you look at Jordan Love, he has not been afforded that, unfortunately, and that's why I say it's going to take time for them. They're going to have to learn how to win with him under center. I think also he's going to have to learn how to do exactly what you and Michael just was talking about. Show that let me shoulder the load. Let me put a little bit more weight on my shoulders so that I can be forced to make these plays. Because if you start to take those type of opportunities off of a quarterback's plate, and again, I alluded to it earlier in the show, every team goes through first 15 plays. Like, you run those plays every single day, all day long, and you know them like the back of your hand. And so for a coach then going into a game to question whether or not I'm going to call that play one, a play that you've run all week long, and whether you've not had the success or you've had success, he's now questioning whether you can get it done, and you step up and say, no, I got this. That speaks volumes. And I'm with you, Michael. That speaks tremendous amount of volume, because if Jordan Love steps back and says, yeah, okay, coach, you can call whatever play, and you've been practicing this all season long, that shows me that he lacks the confidence to pull the trigger and shoulder a lot of this offense.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. In his own self, and that you don't want. Let me say this, because I hear you guys saying you don't see them. We're not putting the pressure on the Aaron Rodgers and the Brett Favres. I mean, they won. What are we talking about? The Super Bowls? Because they each only won one, and I thought they had ability and they should have won more. Are we talking about the lofty things they have done as far as yards and stuff in this league? Because the league is going to continue to be more of an offensive-oriented league. They'll give them more opportunities to make plays. They're opening up the football field. He's going to get he's going to throw for a lot of yards. Just do those yards, convert to wins, and can you get a lot of those wins to convert to Super Bowls? And can you go and try to take them to 2 Super Bowls to outdo those 2 legends? Even if you don't throw for more yards, I guarantee you they'll give you a streak just like they gave Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. So, Greg, last question for you. How much do you think Packer Nation misses Aaron?
I think they miss him from the aspect of what we kind of talked about with Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott, that assurance of we're always going to be in the game, we're always going to have an opportunity to win. But in terms of moving forward, having a different kind of sheriff in town, I don't think they miss him that much, because we all see the potential. Michael, you kind of alluded to it. We kind of see the potential that's there. It's just, can it be sustained? Can it come out on a regular basis? And then can he take it to another level?
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.